Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a library for all of your city building needs. This is the amount of space required to make your library. Feel free to make this grid in your world if you do feel as though it will help you out. As a matter of fact, I would encourage it. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Step 1. If you have made the grid, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of it. And then count right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then inwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the starting position. Place a white concrete on top of this block. And right of this, 5 stone bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 2 white concrete. 1, 2. And then 5 more bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then a white concrete, 2 bricks, 1, 2. Then place 2 terracotta in front of this, 1, 2. And then we want to do 2 things. So first of all, we want to extend upwards by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to extend this 5th block outwards and then left. We then want to extend up by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also back by 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's a little bit complicated, but we'll leave it at that. That sets us up nicely for later. So after that, we want to take that first block and we want to go right of it by 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Extend backwards by 2. So 1, 2. And then we want to do the reverse of what we have done over there. So we'll place a stone brick going right, white concrete, 5 bricks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 white concrete, 1, 2, 5 bricks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a white concrete. We are now going to extend backwards, place 17 stone bricks extending back from the white concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Place a white concrete behind that block, and then extend the white concrete across by 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then place 2 terracotta in front of this, so 1, 2. And then we want to do a couple of things. So first of all, extend this terracotta upwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Extend left 1. Up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to come all the way down to the bottom and extend it right by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Inwards by 2. 1, 2, and then this is quite easy because all we got to do on the back, unless we want to copy the front, that is also an option by the way that I guess I didn't consider now, is we can have the same white concrete on the back as we have the front, but all we essentially want to do is extend the stone bricks across, place the white concrete in the same place that we have on the front, and then extend all of the stone bricks forwards as well, just like this. And perfect. So on the front of the build, it is probably going to be easiest if we take care of the entrance first, because then everything sort of falls into place. On the entrance, the terracotta area, we want to first of all add an extra row of terracotta on top of the base row. We then want to copy what we have on the opposite side, so we will extend the end row of terracotta upwards to match the height. We will then extend it forwards, right, We will match the height once more that we have on the opposite side. That seems about right. And then we'll extend backwards the same way. And we can just take a little peek here. That's perfect. It's a little bit dark. The sun isn't exactly facing our way, but we can tell that we have the same thing. So we can connect the top of this together, I believe, or rather, I guess it's the bottom. So the entrance is split into like two halves, top and bottom, I would say, and we can connect the bottom of this area together, and we can also connect the top of this area together as well, just like this. And on the left and right sides of this, we are going to have strips of white concrete. I do believe that they are 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they are. That's perfect. 4 rows high in total on both sides. It didn't quite look right then for a second, but 4 rows high on both sides. We want to add a row of terracotta at the bottom and the top horizontally also. On the left and right sides, we want to have, I do believe it's 2 rows of terracotta extending inwards, which should leave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows in the middle, and we want to have 2 rows of white concrete for this. So that is essentially where the sign is going to go. And then underneath all of this, we want to split a couple of windows. So that's quite easy. On the left and right, we leave a gap of 2, and then we add 2 vertical rows of terracotta. 1 on the left and 1 on the right. Easy peasy. On the left and right as well, we want to add some smooth quartz slab at the top of the windows, and also some glass block behind the slab, and extending down just like this. Perfect. And then we want to have the entrance. So the entrance is rather simple, and we might even need pillar quartz for this. We will need it a little bit later, but I don't know if we are going to use it for this, although we are going to. That sounds confusing, but anyway, we're going to add 2 rows of pillar quartz, 1 on the left and 1 on the right side of this space that we have right here. We are going to have, it'd be good if we had a door. I don't actually have a door on me. I guess I must have forgot it, but we just need a single door, dark oak wood door right in the middle of the area. We're then going to place some glass pane just inside like this. And we have to create a staircase. I keep getting rid of the materials that I need. So the staircase is going to extend in front of the underneath part of this doorway here. So just from the left pillar to the right pillar, we'll have a row of stone brick stairs. And then do we extend an additional row forwards? I don't think we do. I think that we just have a single row of... Oh, would it look better if we did that? It might look a little bit better if we did... Nah, never mind. We'll have a single row of stone bricks, and then we'll take the middle 3 rows and place stone brick stairs in front, and then again. So it kind of like tapers down to the ground like in the middle. And the idea being is that left and right of the end row of stairs here, we want to place 1, 2, 3, 4... and 1, 2, 3, 4 quartz pillar, or pillar quartz as it is known. It is not, it is known as quartz pillar, my bad. Anyway, the point of this is that we then want to add quartz slab on top, just like this. And then we want to extend it left and right. We want to extend it backwards into the building. We want to extend it a row forwards. This is the quartz slab. So we're going to take the left and right sides, and we want to take these just singular quartz slabs that we have here, the only ones that we can kind of access that aren't already connected together, and we want to turn these into quartz blocks. And then I think they're actually going to extend it another row upwards like this, so that it's like clipping into the terracotta. And then on the left and right side, I want you to just extend inwards and upwards until we have kind of like this cool dome effect. And we're also going to extend, how are we going to do this and make this look good? So we can extend this backwards so that it kind of connects together, and this backwards as well. I think that we'll try and, oh, they're the only blocks that we do have to extend. Although I'm considering that we could delete these terracottas here just underneath the blocks and replace these using glass, maybe even as far as inside of the library like this, because I want to have like a cool sort of like dome effect and a little bit of depth. And if we extend the quartz slabs that we have on the left and right, and we can even extend them into the windows, then that also creates a little bit of a depth and a little bit of variance as well. We might even cover up the... Does that look okay like that, or shall we cover up the entire window? I think that actually looks really cool like that, so we'll probably just leave it. All we would do, just like concerning the remainder of the entrance, is to add oak leaves, just kind of like around, around the entrance area, just like this, connecting into the side of the build. We can also add some stone bricks. So maybe we just place them underneath here. Maybe the stone bricks don't have to come as far as I had them previously. We can just place a little bit of leafage just to connect it together. Or do we want it? Because the cool thing about this is that I do kind of like it to just fill in these... Does it look better this way, or does it look better the other way? I think that you guys will just have to kind of like decide that yourselves, but I think that that looks pretty good regardless of all of this. And we are also going to do a little bit of framework for the roof. So this is rather simple. All we do is on the top of the build, on the left and right side, we'll do this sort of evenly-ish. We want to place smooth quartz slabs sitting on the side of the terracotta, extending forwards and then extending inwards and upwards until they eventually reach an apex. So I recommend just basically doing a little bit on the left and then a little bit on the right, and then it will naturally join together at the highest point anyway. So just like this. And then what I'm going to do from here is just place a bit of glass behind this. So the glass only has to be placed in the exposed portion of the area, just like this, and that looks pretty good. If you want to create an additional sense of depth, then you would set the glass one row backwards, but I'm not 100% sure that we need it. I'm going to leave it as is. And you know what? As we are kind of like working on the front of the build, why don't we do the sign? I usually save this until a lot later. Oh, the door is the reason that we don't have enough space. I usually save this until a lot later, but let's get it out of the way. Loom on the ground, open it up, throw a white banner in there, throw some black dye in there. First letter would be L. Vertical row of black on the left, horizontal across the bottom. Boom, L. Next would be I. Vertical row of black straight up the middle. Next would be B. This is pretty much vertical on the left, right, horizontal on the top, bottom, straight through the middle, B. R, a little bit trickier, vertical row on the left, horizontal on the bottom, add a diagonal top left corner to bottom right corner. Next would be A, vertical row on the left, the right, horizontal on the top. That is not on the top, there we go, on the top. And then straight through the middle, A. And then we would be able to reuse the R. And then last but not least is the Y. So, you know what? Last and least, because it's my least favorite letter to make. Top right corner to bottom left corner with the black dye. Throw white in there, that was the wrong place. Make the lower half of the banner white. I've made it wrong. Let's scrap that. I'm going to leave this in the video to show you how annoying these banners can be. So let's start again. Black dye in there. It wants to be top left corner to bottom right corner with the black. Throw the white in there. Make the lower half of the banner white. Put black back in there. And then do the opposite diagonal. Top right corner to bottom left corner. Boom. There is Y. And there we have library. Which honestly sounds better than library to me. But L-I-B-R-A-R-Y, library, written right in the center, pretty much the center of the upper half of the building, left to right in the white concrete area. And as a result of this, I did that wrong. As a result of this, we can actually get rid of all of these materials. So that is the sign complete. We are going to come around the back of the build now. And we are going to do the middle back part of the build, because it's relatively simple. We need terracotta, light blue glass, and honestly, pretty much just some smooth quartz slab. And you might even want to grab some oak leaves for a bit of decoration, although you might not have room for it depending upon whether you made the grid. So, on the back of the build, we're going to place a horizontal row of terracotta just along the bottom. On the right side, we're going to extend upwards, and then out, and up in the same fashion that we have there on the left. So quite easy to mimic because we've already done it the once. Add a horizontal row of terracotta on the top, a row underneath. We'll add an extra row of terracotta on the left and right sides. So we've kind of created almost like a big rectangle. And the windows are very simple as well. So the windows will start at the bottom here. And on the left, we want to place 2 rows of glass, gap of 2, 3 rows of glass, 1, 2, 3, gap of 2, 2 rows of glass. The glass wants to be 3 rows high in total. Then we want to have a horizontal row of terracotta on top. And then we want to copy exactly what we have above using the glass. So we can place the terracotta in between, and that is all we have to do. So that's absolutely perfect. That's what the back of the build looks like. And as I was saying, it's up to you whether you want to add a little bit of leafage around here. If you want to make it a little bit more complicated, you're more than welcome. But majoritively, that's all we're going to do for the windows. Nice and simple. On the top of the build, we're going to do the exact same thing with the roof as we did on the front. So, all that means is, and I do believe, if you want, because that looks a little bit off, I don't know why, I'm going to extend this quartz slab just all the way back. There we go, it wasn't off. I don't know why, it didn't seem to line up with the front there, but on the back of the build, we are simply going to do the exact same thing with the quartz slabs until we reach roughly the apex. It doesn't have to be perfect, so here, here. We're a bit higher on this side. You basically just fiddle with it until eventually, there we go, it just lines up nicely. We add a little bit of glass in the exposed portion of the top back part of the build, and there we go. You can even, on this side as well, connect the quartz slab together because it has to be done anyway, actually. And there we are, easy peasy. And beyond that, we are going to make the sides of the building. Okay, so let's come all the way back to the front of the building and let's get to work on these sides. So, for these sides, let's just dump everything out for a second. We will 100% need stone bricks, white concrete, smooth quartz slabs, we'll need grey concrete, light blue glass, we will need the upside down stairs, we will need terracotta, and that will hopefully be it. We'll grab the smooth quartz blocks for later as well, because we will need those later. So, it's worth mentioning that this build is symmetrical, so everything that we do here on the left will be applied to the right at some point in time. First of all, I think it's important to just seal up this side of the library. We'll work on the left side and then we'll do the right side independently, but we'll sort of add a couple of rows of terracotta just here on the side of the center, just like this, to line up with the stone bricks. We will add an extra row of stone bricks and white concrete on top of the pre-existing stone bricks and white concrete. So, just all the way around like this. Perfect. Oh, and whilst we're on the back as well, we might as well do the same thing to the back. So, add the terracotta like this. There we go. Perfect. So, we'll add that, and then we'll add the white concrete on top of all of the pre-existing white concrete, so just all the way along there. The next thing that we want to do is we will start closest to the actual entrance area of the library, and we will mark out this area. We'll place a grey concrete on top of the stone brick, 2 glass to the left, grey concrete, 2 glass, grey concrete, 2 glass. You guys seen the pattern. 2 concrete, 1 concrete, 2 glass, 1 concrete, 2 glass, and then this will hang off of the build, 1 grey concrete. Almost forgotten my own pattern. And then, this is tricky, right? So let's extend all of these up. So the grey concrete wants to get extended up 1, 2, 3, and then we want to extend a row of grey concrete across. So like this, it'll actually connect to the center. We want to extend the grey concretes down in between. We want to place glass in between also. That's perfect. And then we want to, in front of the top of this, we want to place upside down smooth quartz stairs extending all the way over to the left. Underneath this, or rather, it's not underneath it, it's kind of like, it's in this area, like it's along the... Well, actually, which is it? Yeah, it covers up the bottom of the windows actually, so we'll place the smooth quartz slabs all the way across to the left. We'll overhang one, and then we'll extend it up so that it connects to these stairs. In addition to this, we will place a row of smooth quartz slabs that goes all the way around the edge of the bottom of the build, and you can see that this is a rather tedious process. But there we go, all done now. So, speaking of tedious, we now want to... So, again, this is in the sort of like realm of tricky, is we... Actually... I just had to think for a moment. We're going to extend the grey concrete backwards, and also the smooth quartz backwards in the exact same way. So we're going to extend them so that they stop in the exact same place on the back as they do the front. So we'll extend all of the grey concrete over, but then we could leave some of the grey concrete exposed, and we can kind of like take advantage of the fact that it's a little bit open. So instead of filling the middle in, we could just extend a row of smooth quartz slabs across the bottom and then upside down stairs across the top, and then that would look a little bit better in my opinion. On the original I just covered it up with quartz, but I don't see the reason for that because I think that actually looks pretty cool. And we can even add some windows into this because nothing actually goes along this back wall. So anyway, once we've done that, we actually want to do the same thing on the back as we have the front. So we can just start off by extending the top of the grey concrete across and join it down like this. And then it's pretty much just 2 glass, grey concrete, 2 glass, grey concrete, 2 glass. You guys get the idea. So we then want to extend it up. We'll place the glass in between, just like this. And once that's done, we will place upside down smooth quartz stairs along the top again, very reminiscent of what we just did on the front. We will place the smooth quartz slab here across the bottom, and I think that looks really good. Like I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, and it looks a little bit impressive. I don't know why. I like the blend of the new and the old. It's almost like we've taken an old library and we've kind of like revamped it a little bit. But anyway, coming up to the upper part of the library, we will start on the right side, and on top of this grey concrete right here, we want to place 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have to destroy this block right here, 5 white concrete. We will then have a gap of 5, so we can use terracotta for this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 white concrete, 1, 2, 5 terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 white concrete. And the white concretes want to get extended up like this, and we can connect them together at the top as a matter of fact because they won't be visible. So here, we want to add a row of terracotta just at the top horizontally like this, add some light blue glass like this, and there we go. That looks really good. So later on, or right now, we can extend a row of upside down smooth quartz stairs across the top of this, like so. And the side of the build is a little bit different. So on this side of the build, we don't have a huge amount of windows. So all I'm going to recommend is you extend a row of terracotta along the bottom, coming all the way to the back. We'll stick a white concrete on the end. We will extend white concrete upwards and join it all the way to the front of the build. So, like this. And actually, on the sides of the build, we do want to have a couple of vertical rows of white concrete. Actually, my bad. So, on the front and the back, all we've got to do is leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the 6th block, we want to make vertical rows of white concrete. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th block, we want to make vertical row of white concrete. This middle area is going to be a window. So, it's kind of like a horseshoe shape. So, like this, we'll have terracotta all along the outside except for the bottom, and then we'll fill the center of it in with glass. The windows on the left and right sides will actually have bookshelves against them, so we're just going to fill these in with terracotta, just easy peasy. Now that we've done that, we might as well extend the smooth quartz stairs along the back also, around the edge. And then we've kind of just got to copy what we have on the front. So we'll extend all the terracotta across, add the white concrete. We will extend more terracotta across, add the white concrete. These are in rows of 5, by the way, just in case you've forgotten. But honestly, I wasn't even counting. I was just looking straight forwards. We then want to add the white concrete in the middle, along the top. The row along the top allows us to place upside down smooth quartz stairs to connect. And then we have a horizontal row of terracotta just underneath the left and right side. We add a little bit of glass, just like this. And then that looks very good, in my opinion. And in doing that, ladies and gentlemen, you have fully completado. That sounds Spanish, but I'm not gonna, don't take my word for it. We have completioned the left side of the library. But I'm also realizing it's not just like the actual building that is like, it's not just the actual building that is symmetrical. There's also a little bit of a grass feature on the outside of this that we can also build. So the grass feature is basically, if we come all the way down to the bottom left-hand corner of the library, we want to leave a gap of 2 extending left, so 1, 2, place a smooth quartz slab, and extend the slab forwards so that it is 3 rows away from your boundary. If you haven't made the boundary, then you can take a look over there where the entrance is. It is 1 row across from the entrance, or in front of the entrance, I should say. We then want to extend this row 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, and then we can start extending backwards. So in terms of where this is on the back, I'm pretty sure that we'll just run it all the way to the back boundary, so where the terracotta is over there, and we want to connect it all the way to the start. And once this is done, this is where the tedium begins. So, we need green terracotta and lime terracotta. It's very simple to do this. We leave a gap of 1 on the front, and then on the, so we're in the front left-hand corner of the area here. Move 1 row back, place a square of terracotta, lime terracotta specifically, 2 by 2. Then behind and to the right of this, a 2 by 2 square of green terracotta. And behind this, lime. And behind that, green. Behind that, lime. Behind that, green. Behind that, lime. Behind that, green. And you're switching sides the entire time also. So on the left, right, left, right. We're going to extend this an additional row backwards. There we go, so that it lines up with the, so that it's even with the front. And you guys get the idea. So on the left, right, left, right, left, right, almost looks like a zip. Well, the zip, we then want to extend the lime terracotta so they are 3 rows high. And we want to extend the green terracottas so they are 4 or even 5 rows high. We will first of all you know what, let's place all of the lime first. We will first experiment with 4 rows high, and then we will see if 5 looks better. So that's all of the lime placed. And we'll just make all of them 4 rows high to start with. And then that way we can just like get a decent look at it. And then we will just extend one of them up, and we'll take a good look and see like, is that better, yes or no? So, honestly, it might even make more sense for it to end on the lime here, but it's okay. So, that is kind of just the side of the library. I actually think that that looks really good. Like, it's not meant to be like insanely detailed or anything. It's just like a cool thing to put to the side of this area. But anyway, so we have added that feature on the left. We will be adding that feature on the right as well. Something else that we have to do also, that I might also do in time-lapse form, is we don't have it on us, and this also depends on your city as well. Like, I want to integrate this into my city a little bit, so I'm going to add a little path just in front of the library. It's going to be made out of smooth stone because all of my pavements are smooth stone, so that's why I always use smooth stone for like sidewalk. So I want to just have a little bit of a path leading into the library, and I'm wondering how this looks. So just maybe like a little square, and then of course we'll replace the white concrete, but I think that looks pretty good. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that, unless I was to also add a couple of rows of smooth stone on the left and right, so that it's, because that looks a little bit like it looks like a big jump. So I'll show you what I mean. Like I know what I mean in my mind, but I'm not quite sure how to vocalize it. Like, so we have the area that sticks out and extends into the library in the middle that we've just added, but it seems like which do you prefer? I prefer this because it seems gradual, like it just seems like there's a big chunk of grass here, you know? As opposed to like a slight gradation using some more smooth stone. It doesn't really matter, honestly, at all, but it's, I don't know, it's just personal choice. I think that this is going to be where I keep my library. I don't always do this with builds, I don't always place them where they will go, you know, like ultimately, but I think that the library, this is actually a good space for it, especially across the school, so I want to make it look right, and yeah, I think that that looks pretty good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so all we have to do is apply everything to the right side of the build that we just did to the left side. I am going to show you a quick time lapse of that. If you need further instruction, just refer back to the previous part of the video. I believe in you. So, with both sides of our library complete, we now want to focus on the roof, because the outside portion of this build is very almost done. The roof is very simple, so all we literally have to do, and this might also be a time-lapse moment, is we just have to connect the center of the roof together, front to back, so basically just the rows of quartz that we have. So I'm using a mixture of quartz block and smooth quartz slab, and those will just connect together nicely. I'll do half of this and then move on. So as you can see, we have the block, every other block, and then we have these slabs every other block as well. So it's just a back and forth between the two. And we just have to fill the top of the roof in as well, and I'm going to use glass because it's surprisingly dark inside of the library, so which is kind of cool because it creates like an ambience and a mood, but you know, realistically it is a tad bit dark, so we'll just be filling that in with glass. And some of you may also want to opt to add like a ring of smooth quartz slab around the top of the glass as well. I'm not 100% sure if I like that, but let's get that filled in. With the roof complete, that means that the entire structure and building of the library is also complete. We don't really have anything else to do outside, except for maybe a couple of choices which we will make later on. So, after completing the roof, we can now head inside. The first thing that you may notice inside of the build is that we don't really have a floor. We're going to take care of that in a little second, and we'll be using oak planks for that, but I want to tidy up the front of the build a little bit first. So I'm going to add a few rows of oak planks just at the front of the building as we just walk in like this, just so that we've got something to actually walk on. But I want to add inside of the entrance area some terracotta, and I actually quite like that the entrance is textured a little bit. It's kind of cool, so I might add some glass behind here, and I might even make another sort of curved dome inside here, but it looks a little bit of a mess, I think, with the exposed white concrete. So if we just fill the inside of this in with terracotta, I think that it will look a little bit better. And then maybe we could even kind of, like I said, make that sort of dome effect. So we could, but I mean, we could even sort of copy what we have on the outside. I can see that maybe we can just use some smooth quartz, kind of like this. I think that actually looks pretty cool, and we could even extend it an additional row outwards, like so. Just make a little bit of a feature. Maybe it can connect to the windows on the left and right. And we could even just leave it like that if we wanted to. Then it might not be a bad idea to have some... Actually, no. I think that actually looks really cool. I think that that's fine. I'm considering it might look cool to have a clock on the inside of here as well. So I know that... It just sort of makes sense that there would be a clock, maybe just a clock on the inside, that so people don't actually so they don't lose track of time. I can just use some trapdoors because I'm just kind of testing this out a little bit, but just maybe I've got to do this. So maybe just a clock on the inside, and then that makes kind of a cool feature. I think that that's pretty cool. I like I like that entrance. I like that. That's nice. So in doing that, ladies and gentlemen, that actually takes care of that problem. On the back here, we kind of have to figure out what we want to do here as well. We could add maybe just a couple of pillars. I sort of like the shape of the back. I don't need it all to be smooth. Maybe we just add a couple of pillars at the back here, and of course we would also be adding some oak planks as well, just where the floor would go. I think that looks just fine. So all we have to do from here is just add a floor of oak planks, and I don't think there's any more tidying up to do. I think that we'll just leave it like that. So let's just get the floor filled in with oak planks, and then we can talk about some of the more specific details. So, now that we have filled in the floor, we are going to work on some of the details of the build. So, first of all, I think that we will take care of the middle of the library, because it's kind of unique up onto itself, and then the left and right sides are actually just identical to each other. So, to start us off, we are going to grab a material that I think I actually forgot about, which is green glazed terracotta. So the green glazed terracotta wants to be placed the width of the area between this terracotta here and this terracotta here. We want to leave a gap of 1, and then we want to have the green terracotta. It also wants to be 4 rows long in total, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can just dig this out and we can fill the center in. So just like this is looking pretty good. Then, in front of this is kind of where the help desk or reception or whatever you might want to call it begins. So, I'm just going to grab some dark oak planks for this, and we want to take these 3 center blocks, leave a gap of 1, and we want to place dark oak planks just opposite them. We then want to place 2 diagonals extending inwards and outwards from the 2 rows, the ends of the row of 3. And then we want to place, we don't have this material on us, is actually, oh yes we do. We want to place then some spruce fence gates extending backwards, and then we kind of just want to copy the shape that we have. So we'll place dark oak planks on the ends, we'll extend it inwards diagonally on both sides and join it together, and essentially what we have is a circle. And what's important about this circle is the middle of the circle on the left and right should line up with the windows that we have on the left and right as well, if you can see that. So beyond that, we want to detail the inside of this a little bit. So we will need smooth quartz stairs for this. We will need the bookshelves for this. We will need any stairs will do. So it's kind of up to you. I'm going to use dark prismarine stairs, and I'm going to use spruce trapdoors just to liven it up a little bit. Something that we have in the chest is we will have paintings, and we also need pressure plates as well, but you know, I don't want to go outside. And we're even going to grab a couple of lanterns too. So this is a help desk. It is two-sided, so we'll have a computer on this side, so a backwards facing quartz stairs, and the same thing on the opposite side, but I'm kind of like making it opposite-ended. And I'm going to place bookshelves just in front of the front or behind the front and back part of the circle. Paintings inside of the computer monitor with some pressure plates to act like a keyboard. You can even use buttons as well, so the buttons would of course be for a mouse, so you can place that on the sides on top of the bookshelves. And we need some seats, so the seats will be placed of course in front of the computer, and I'm just using, so you know, use any variation of a chair that you like, but prismarine stairs, spruce trapdoors on the side. I just like how it looks. I think that looks pretty cool. You might also want to like vary the desk a little bit, but I'm quite happy to keep it like nice and simple, to be honest. Like, I don't need to have like if you want to, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with... I can't find the stairs. Okay, the stairs don't start with a D either, so you know, if you want to, like, you can make the center of this like an upside down dark oak stair, and you can add like signs to the side, and you can add like cladding to the edge of the deck. Like, it's up to you. There's a bunch of ways that you can make it look a little bit fancier if you do so choose, but I mean, we could even add like trap doors onto the corners. Like, it's up to you. I mean, it looks okay regardless, but you know, you can make it kind of like as fancy as you would like. But after doing this, there is a bunch of kind of like reading desks behind this area as well. So the reading desks are made pretty much just out of darker... Oh, and also the lanterns, by the way, are just to place sparingly about, just to keep the area light. You might even want to kind of like place them up near the clock as well. It depends how ambient you want the place to look like. I think that that's a nice amount of light. It's not too much, not too little, but... There's a bunch of reading desks, and they line up with the windows actually, and we want to leave a gap of 1 between the windows, and then we want to have desks the same, need slabs, desks the same size as the windows. So just on the left, right, and middle, we want to have desks. We want to have chairs behind the desks. It's up to you how you want to place these. I'm going to place them symmetrically. Because the library is symmetrical, I'm kind of going to place the desks and the chairs in like the same sort of way. And so we have a set of desks, and then we want to leave a gap of 1, and then we want to have another row of desks behind these. And of course, these are the same thing, essentially. Like, it's the exact same, literally the exact same thing. We just want to leave a gap of 1. And if you want to vary the chairs, like the middle, for the middle desk, I want the chair in the middle, but if you want to kind of like vary the chairs on the left and right, kind of spread them out, it makes it look a little bit more voluminous. I think that looks pretty cool. For a little bit of decoration, again, something that we should have on us if we were to actually go outside and, you know, get them. But some item frames and books. I mean, this is a library, you know, it makes sense. I'm going to place these in front of the chairs. And not all of these have to be occupied, so you don't have to do this for all of them. And you can also, like, swap the position of the books if you like. We're also going to make some desk lamps as well, so that's going to require an end rod and the same green glazed terracotta, although you could vary it. And every single one of these desks is going to have the end rods. So I guess that I've kind of... It is sort of symmetrical in a way, actually. I think, isn't it? Yeah, so I don't know, it is kind of like nice to look at, but you can make these out of, like, you could just make the tops of the lamps like the dark prismarine slabs as well, but there's something about this that I quite like. So that's kind of like the center part of the library, and it's kind of like an additional decoration that I sort of like. You know those like book trolleys. So I'm going to use a bookshelf for this. I need the spruce trapdoors. I also need the spruce fence and pressure plate, or fence gate, I should say. I mean, we could use dark oak pressure plates. And, you know, this kind of looks like, hopefully, like, you guys look at this and you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So, basically, a couple of bookshelves like this. We put a trapdoor in front. On the side, we place dark oak pressure plates on top and an open fence gate, and it just looks like one of those like things to like just ferry around books, if that makes sense. So, you know, like you can push it. I don't know why I can't come up with like what you would call this thing, but hopefully you guys get like a book trolley. But I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. If not, I guess I made them up. But we're going to place these. Just in literally just a couple of places, just one on this side, one on that side, and that's all there is to it. So yeah, that looks pretty good in my opinion. Another variation of it is to basically just do the top and leave the sides open, but I don't think that looks as good. So it's up to you. You can do either or none at all, or come up with your own. But this is kind of this is the center of the library complete, as I say, and this is looking pretty good just all by itself. That's the center of the library complete. So now we are going to focus on, we'll do the left side, but they are both identical, the left and right sides. So, okay, so I've just quickly gathered all of the materials that we should just use for this side, and I've kind of just been taking inventory of what we'll be needing as well. So on this side of the building, again, we're starting over here on the left. First of all, we are going to make the second level. So the second level of the library starts here. We'll start in this corner. So in the corner of this window where there should be a grey concrete but there's a terracotta, we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oak planks extending out from this corner. We then want to join it to the side of the build over here. And then we also want to, underneath the side of the build, we'll just add an extra row of oak planks, but it also wants to have a row of 5 oak planks like exposed out. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. So we want to have a row of 5 oak planks that we can actually like walk on top of and around in a horseshoe shape again. So kind of like, we don't want to fill the entire area in. So like, we don't want to make the entire upper half of the library just like, we don't just want, we want it to be exposed basically. So we just want to have 5 rows on the front, side, and back to just walk around on top of. And we want the oak planks to finish on the back in the same way that they do the front. Just like this. I probably explained that poorly, but hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to place upside down spruce stairs around the edge of this. And then on top of this, we will be placing... So this doesn't really connect, does it? So we might have to place a little bit of like terracotta or something here. We want to place a dark oak fence on top of these stairs, just all the way around. Like this, just the edge. And there we go, it just connects on the back. So you can see how that comes together. That's looking pretty cool. And then for the middle, so to actually get up and down here, we take the area in front of the window, we leave a gap of 1, and then we dig out all of these oak planks, and then we just place oak stairs, or we could even vary it. We could use different stairs for this. Maybe we can use dark oak stairs. as a bit of a variance. I think they might look a little bit better with a different stairs so that it stands out. Maybe even spruce stairs, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter. We'll start off with dark oak and we'll see how that looks. The only reason that I might think dark oak wouldn't be appropriate, but I do want a different stairs, is because the desk in the center of the lower half of the room is also made out of dark oak, so I don't want it to homogenize too much. But that is the upper level, and we have a bunch of bookshelves up here, and it's quite simple. We simply want to have bookshelves. So where we have this window here, we'll have like a bookshelf on both ends, and we'll do this for like, but on the windows on the left and right here, we'll just have bookshelves, and the bookshelves are going to be as high as the top of the windows here, and we are going to extend the bookshelves out. So the bookshelves want to be 4 rows long, 3 rows high. They want to extend out from the sides of the windows, and they'll look exactly like that. So nice and simple. And it's the exact same thing on the back as well. So it's 4 rows and yeah, so 4 rows long and 3 rows high. We'll do this on the front and the back, and then we will add a couple of bookshelves. We'll actually extend. Actually, they don't need extending. I mean, they're already in the exactly where they are. I was thinking that we had to add another set of bookshelves just here, but there we go. It's just nice and simple. Like, it's not a complicated design, and I think it looks really good. So beyond this, there's not really anything to do upstairs, but downstairs we'll add some more bookshelves. The bookshelves are actually going to be the same height and width, except with their height, they actually connect to the upper level. So the bookshelves are going to be placed on the lower level, in between the splits of the windows. So that applies to the front and back of the build, and this means that we've got just a bunch of shelves. So just where we have the splits in the windows, that is where we're going to be placing books. Remember, they are 4 rows long. So I think that, yeah, I shorten them a little bit. So they're 4 rows long, like this, and just in between the windows. And that's all there is to it. You don't have to add any more. You don't have to add any less. It's up to you. I'm thinking about adding a window behind those stairs because it looks a little bit bare. But yeah, I think I think I will. So behind these windows, like, I think it'd be nice to add just a. Or, so here where the stairs are, I should say. So is that the middle? It doesn't look like it. So here, and then add. I guess we could frame it actually. So we could. We could use grey, or we could use pillar quartz as a bit of a different material. So I don't know how that looks from the outside, but from the inside that actually looks just fine. I'm quite happy with that. Let me take a look from the outside. Let me see how that looks. Oh, that looks just fine. That's perfect. So we can extend this in, and then extend the slabs in as well. Yeah, great, perfect. Why not? That looks good. So, see, isn't this quite ambient in here? Like, this feels really cozy to me. I really like it. And so we have this, and all we have to do to finish off this particular side of the library is we have to add a rather large desk, or a rather large table, I suppose. So we'll leave a gap of 2 between the stairs here, and then we want to have a table that is 3 rows in width, and the center of the table is going to be dark oak slabs, and it is going to be, I don't know how many rows long, but it's going to come to the end of the bookshelves here. So there we go. That looks pretty good. And we want to have a bunch of computers, and it should actually work out that actually we'll place them in the middle. My bad. So here, and here. So like we'll have them all in the middle like this. They'll each have keyboards. We will give them, what else we'll give them? We'll add some books about the place as well, so we'll have item frames for this. We need to put stuff on the screens, so this is going to be paintings. Buttons for mice. You can even put it on the left on one side if you like as well, for the left-handed among you. A couple of item frames just to chuck some books in. We could even have a bunch just on the end here. Just like this. Perfect. And then we just need chairs. So the chairs are dark prismarine stairs and also spruce trapdoors. So basically the same chair design that we've used throughout the entire build, pretty much. And this is how it's going to look. And of course you can add lanterns, but the cool part about the size of the build is we actually get some nice natural light, so you don't really need it unless it's nighttime. So I'll leave that up to you. And that is that half of the library complete, ladies and gentlemen, so you can actually get like a nice visual, like a nice little preview of what the opposite side is going to look like. And of course, this is once again where we are going to go into time-lapse mode, and you can watch me apply the exact same detail to the opposite side. If you need to, just refer back to a previous part of the video, and you shouldn't really run into any trouble. And that's actually it, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing left for me to show you for this tutorial. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Make sure that that little bell has been clicked and notifications are turned on next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to where it's supposed to be. And if you do like the look of the world that I have been building in, I don't know how much of it you have managed to see, Stream City is available to download, Java Edition only, for all of my channel members. If you are a channel member and you're unaware of this, or if you would like to become one for this perk, channel members are provided a brand new fresh download link for Stream City every single time it is updated. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.